What is default routing? What is default routing? Okay. So even before this, first let me explain you one scenario. Okay. This is my router. This is my switch. These are all my pieces. These are all my pieces. Okay. So what is actually the purpose of default routing is, right? So this is my topology. This is my router, this is my switch, and these are all my pieces. My router is connected to ISP. Connected to ISP. So till now we have seen if router, if it has to switch packets from one network to another network, right? It should know the destination network ID. Until and unless it will not forward the data. We have seen this yesterday, right? That is what the router does. Router will forward the traffic only when it knows the destination or only when there is an entry of destination network in its routing table. You got my point? Only thing is, router will forward the traffic only when it knows the destination or only when there is an entry of destination network in its routing table, right? My PC1 is accessing FB. My PC1 is accessing FB. My PC2 is accessing Google, right? My PC3 is accessing Cisco. PC4 is accessing UniNets.com, right? Every website has its particular public IP, right? So you know what actually happens when you are typing www.uninets.com, cisco.com. What actually happens? An HTTP and DNS request is sent, right? We have discussed the DNS as application layer protocol. DNS will give you that name, that will give you that IP of that domain name, right? What does that mean? FB has one particular FB has one particular IP, Google.com has one particular IP, Cisco.com has one particular IP, UniNets has one particular IP, right? Now, do you really think this router, my local router, does know all these networks? For suppose think my fb.com is 2.2.2.2 or google.com is 8.8.8.8, right? Now my router can switch the packets only when it knows the destination, right? That in the sense we should give these all networks 2.2.2.2, 8.8.8.8. We should make an entry in the routing table. Then only it can forward the data, right? Okay. For google.com and facebook.com, you will give. You can give for google.com and facebook.com because those are only two. You can give that network. But in a day, you are accessing some thousands of websites. Are you giving all those websites IPs networks to your routing table? You are making. Are you making an entry? No, it doesn't know. My router, whatever the router I have, it doesn't know all the networks. Why? Because there are 500 thousands of webs, 500 thousands of routes on the internet. If I'll give all that routes to my router stops working. You're getting my concern?
Yeah.
Right? Then how it is? So we cannot give that many routes. Then how it is switching packets, though it doesn't know where the destination is? How it is switching the packets? How it is forwarding the packets? That is by default. That is by default. Okay. Default routing is like telling the router to check the routing table for the destination. If it doesn't find the if it doesn't find the destination in its routing table, then just forward the data or traffic, whatever it is, to the given next. Read it. Once read it.
What that is like, if the routing table if it doesn't find it, I think the routing table then just forward the data or traffic, whatever it is, to the given network.
You got it? Right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Now what will I tell my router? Now what are we telling our router in our real-time scenario is, what are we doing is, I will tell my router R1, my R1, that IP route IP route 0.0.0.0 0.0.0.0. For suppose take my next stop is this, my ISP is something 12.0.0.2 for timing. It will not be like that, but for timing think that 12.0.0.2. Right? This is the command to give the default routing. Right? Now what am I telling the router is, first check for the whatever the destination in your routing table. If you didn't find any entry in the routing table, at last the router will check the default and it will come to know that IP route, my network ID is 0.0.0.0. It means that whatever the network it is, you don't care about it. 0.0.0.0 whatever the subnet mask it is, whatever the subnet mask it is, don't care. You just forward this the data which is not matching the routing table entries, just forward them to the just forward them to the 12.0.0.2. Okay, so when you're giving an default route, router will check the all the entries it has, whatever the network entries it has, it will check. If it doesn't find any matching entry, then at the last it will check for the default route. If it has the route, what is the next hop mentioned, to that next hop it will forward the data. If not, it will drop the traffic. Okay, so in real time scenario we will use default route in this case. Why? Because we cannot give 500 thousands of routes to our router. If we give that many routes, it will stop working, right? First of all, it doesn't have that memory to store that many routes in it. Okay, so it cannot accept that. So what will we do is, you will give just only one route, that is default route, to your router, telling that IP route 0.0.0.0.0, whatever the traffic you are receiving, whatever the traffic you are receiving, forward it to ISP. For suppose my ISP IP is 192.168.1.2. This is my ISP and IP. Okay, so I will mention here IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0.0 192.168.1.2. Only this route will be given in my router. Only one route. That's it. Only one default route. Whatever the traffic comes for whomsoever it may come, traffic it to ISP. Give it to switch it to ISP. Right. So this is default. Okay.